Welcome back to Talking with Teri TV, where we're spilling the tea. Today, Ben Affleck speaks out about fame. Listen in.
Built to be famous. I don't like it, you can keep it. I really have not gotten any benefit from it other than, I've got
Okay, let's be real. He's gotten benefit from being famous.
some speeding tickets and some restaurant reservations, and I don't wait in line at Disneyland.
Holy buckets, really? No waiting in lines at Disneyland? Sign me up, please. For those that know me well, that I hate standing in lines. So give me some of that goodness, okay? Seriously.
And I have no judgment around this. A lot of performers kind of inherently, because nobody wants to play to an empty house, right?
Now, I agree with that. When you're a performer, okay, whether you are performing on stage, you are singing, you're a musician, you're an actor, an actress. For myself, being a speaker, when we are out there doing our craft, it is way more engaging when you have an audience full to engage with. There's an energy about it. And I know that if I speak to 15 people, what that energy is going to be versus me speaking to 100 people, 200 people, 500,000 people, right? There is an energy that does fuel you as a entertainer or as a presenter, and even as speakers. I will be honest, I do believe that one of our first targets, if you will, is to entertain, right? Add value, but one of our jobs is to entertain. So I do relate to that.
They want to have that attention. So attention, people often conflate it with narcissism and solipsism and self-absorption. It's not really. What it is I'm somebody who wants to express something to people very profoundly, so I want people there to respond to that. And so celebrity itself, the attention in and of itself is not valuable to me personally at all. I'm shy.
And here's the thing is, when we're in business, I always tell people you cannot be the best kept secret in order to create the impact that you desire. So there is a level of being, quote, seen in the world, and that being seen looks different for each and every one of us, depending on the industry, depending on whether we're online or, brick and mortar kind of thing. So that being seen will look differently for each of us, right? And there are some people, I'll just add this too, is there are some people, and I know a lot of speakers are extraordinarily shy. And so who they are on stage is very different than who they are off stage, because they are more reserved, they are more extroverted. And so it's so important to know who you are, because I know for me, I'm an extrovert. And so I would soak up this because that's how I get fueled, right? It's not to be, on the spotlight or anything, but I get fueled up in engagement with other people. My husband always tells me, seriously, Teri, every time we have some downtime, I'm like, let's invite the neighbors, let's do this, let's go do this, because that's how I get fueled up. And so we just got to understand what it is for you, because oftentimes that piece, and I'm sure that there's some, that feedback for me is like, oh, you're always kind of on, or you're always doing this. And that's because that's how I get fueled up, right? Does that make sense? And so looking at, for each of us, how do we get fueled up, and just honoring that, because if you are an introvert, how you get fueled up is going to be by yourself in solitude, and which sounds like that's more in alignment with Ben Affleck in his way, right? So just honoring who you are and knowing there's no right or wrong about it.
I don't want to tell people things. I've been criticized so often in my life, and mischaracterized and misquoted and characterized in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable. And maybe sometimes it was fair and I just didn't want to accept it.
And I will tell you, the more you get out there, the more that your message is being heard and received by people, the more likely you're going to hear negative comments, people disagreeing with you. And I will just tell you this, you are not going to please everybody. So don't break your spirit trying, because again, that's their viewpoint. That's where they're coming from. That's their experience. And you can't take that personally, as much as it's easier said than done, right? But just honoring and knowing that you're not going to please everyone. But don't let that stop you from having your big impact in the world.
And sometimes it wasn't fair. And the truth is, even when they write something good, I just think I don't want to talk about this. I do not even love being here. So what I'd like to be able to do is my job and not have to do that celebrity part. I'm not built
And I'll say this, I think the message that he's saying is like, you do what you love, and that is the ripple impact, right? You show up and you do what you love, and you're going to be seen. Your message is going to get heard by the people that it gets, heard by. And so you do you, boo, and the rest will follow. I think sometimes I was just talking to Mary, our executive producer, offline here just a moment ago, and we were talking about how there are some people, we're not going to name names, okay? We're not going to name names. That go out looking for the celebrity, go out looking for the fame, go out and it's a different energy. And I think Ben has done a nice job in that regards to just being him. And again, you've seen him, shying away from the media in that capacity because he wants to do what he loves to do, which is, showing up on the movie screens and acting, right? And so I'm just going to invite you to think about, how do you step into your power? How do you do and find that being in alignment with what you absolutely love doing, and do that with all your heart. The rest will follow. My friends, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. As always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love, and we'll see you on the next episode.